I am a therapist by training, and the way I went forward is if I could learn something, then I would do it different. So if I understood something and I could talk about it, then I could do it differently. But that's really not true, right? I know how to do all the exercises at a gym, right? I know how to do the squats. I know how to do the presses. I know how to do everything that I need to do. But if I don't do them every day and I don't practice them and I don't train in them, it doesn't matter how much I can do them if I know it, but I don't do it. And so Thrive was all about training. The number one indicator I kept hearing through this process, the number one indicator of long-term mental health is the ability to return to peace. The primary need in the brain is to return to peace. And yet I don't know how to do that. And just because I understand something, that's a secondary need, right? So I kept trying to solve my problem and go into a secondary need and bring it to a primary need, and I would be better, right? And it just didn't work. So we went from the marriage conference to Thrive One. And I'm so grateful because in Thrive, you don't do it alone. So often as a couple, you think, I can just do this at home alone with my spouse. But there are places you hit walls and you need to borrow from other people. And at Thrive, we had another couple that became really dear friends, and we borrowed from them the ability to keep going forward. And we did it as a community together. And we keep coming back because of the together. And individually, we think, well, if I read this book, and one of my best friends, she kept reading all the books. And I'm like, you're reading all the books, but nothing's changing. And it's comfortable to read the books because you're alone and you're not messy and you really don't bump up against what's not working. And then I heard the fatal thing, which is we only really heal in community. Why can't I do this on my own? And then I heard the words, Lori, you are smarter than you are strong. It's like I can take you through the entire gym and I could take you by every piece of equipment, well, which we call the relational brain skills, right? And I can tell you what each of those are, but I can't practice each of those. And when I can't practice each of those, that affects every area of my life and every area of relationship. And one of my biggest mistakes is how I follow people into overwhelm and think I can pull them out. It's like, it's like a lifeguard going out, when you try to save somebody who's drowning and you go out and you throw the life preserver. But if you're not trained, you're going to go down with them. I was infamous in going down with him until I learned, how do I return to joy? How do I get back to peace? How do I stop and find something I'm grateful for? And invite you into that place as opposed to trying to pull you out when I didn't have any of the skills to do it. You can't do what you don't train to do.